Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the High Ticket Coaching and Consultant Strategy and Growth Show. Now, if you're watching this interview anywhere else but within our private community called High Ticket Client Attraction Insider Circle, then definitely come check us out. We'd definitely love to have you if you're a coach, consultant, or a service provider. So with that being said, I want to introduce you to one of the members of our community today, Michelle Jacob. Welcome, Michelle.
Thank you so much, Extus, for having me here.
Awesome. Now, your audio just broke out. It kind of got a little bit quiet. So can you repeat?
Oh, I was just saying thank you for having me here, Extus.
Much better, much better. Awesome. So I guess, so tell us, what do you do?
So I am an occupational therapist turned therapeutic coach. So I started a business called Rewiring Minds, where basically what I do is help people change their subconscious programming. The way I like to explain it is we all have weeds that grows in our mind, right? So from our childhood trauma, limiting beliefs, all of those weeds affect us in our future. So basically I use evidence-based techniques like mindfulness, heart math interventions, EFT, and help people bring to awareness, bring to surface these weeds. We pluck them out using the techniques and we plant in new seeds. So by new seeds, what I mean is new limiting beliefs, new ways of reacting to stress, transforming the anxiety, depression, or any kind of negative emotions and moods that a person struggles with. And so basically teaching people how to find their inner happiness and peace, no matter the external circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I do in a nutshell.
Love it, love it. So how did you what got you started in this work?
You know what? It's actually part of my own personal growth and spiritual journey. So I used to work as an occupational therapist. So I worked as an occupational therapist for 10 years, right? So my work involved treating a lot of motor vehicle accidents. And every time the person would have a secondary condition, and it would be cognitive or mental health related. So these guys would have anxiety or some kind of limiting belief that's holding them back. And I would see that the people who had these secondary conditions, who had these limiting beliefs, who had poor ways of coping with stress, they would not heal as quickly as the people who didn't have these limiting beliefs. So at the same time, now the reason I said it's my personal journey is because at the same time, I was going through a personal relationship that was quite toxic, and we were stuck in these cycles. And initially I thought, hey, maybe it's the other person, I'll start analyzing them. And then, the cycle still continued. And I was like, okay, what's going on? And that's when I went on an inner journey to see what was the cause of the cycle I was stuck in, right? So I went on this journey and I realized my own limiting beliefs. I actually released a book recently, and the book is called You Are Enough. And that was one of my limiting beliefs of not being enough. So every time in this relationship, I was looking for the other person to make me feel enough. So anyway, long story short, I went on this journey to find my inner happiness and peace, to find out who I am and discover these techniques that I teach people now. And being the therapist, I was like, I need evidence, I need science. So there's a lot of biofeedback in my therapeutic approaches. So people get to see what's going on in their nervous system when they're having these negative thoughts and these negative emotions, right? Because that's what I wanted. So all this was created for me initially. But then what happened was I took this into the clinic I was working for. And at the clinic, a lot of people started to ask me, why are you not starting your own company? And I didn't realize, that limiting belief of not being enough, it was still lingering. There was a small part of me who didn't think I could own a company and I could run my own business. I always thought I camouflaged with my surroundings. I like someone being my boss, but I could never do it. That was my limiting belief. And then I guess the universe had a different plan for me. So back in 2018, in September, I'm writing this guided journal for a client. And all of a sudden, I feel this download of a book. And I can't even explain what happened that day. I just know it was this download, and I felt this urge to open a new Microsoft Word document. And I just started typing. And the title was You Are Enough. And what came through that day was the skeleton of the entire book and the different chapters and the 7-step program that I now teach. And now those 7 steps, it always gives me goosebumps when I share this, is acronymed MIRACLE. And each letter stands for, like M is for mindfulness, I is identity, find out who you are in the core. So R is something else, and A. So yeah, so it was this divine intervention. And then I started getting dreams that I have to start my own business. And I just felt this pull, this force by the universe that I had to start Rewiring Minds. And that's the name of the company. And even the name came as, this download. So yeah, for me, it's been a spiritual and a personal growth journey that led me to my business.
Yeah, pretty awesome stuff. Pretty awesome stuff. I love that. I love what you said. As far as you created the program, your process. It's as a way of something you wanted to use, right? I think Steve Jobs he said, yeah.
Exactly. Because the amazing part was, so you know how I said all the skeleton came through, and what I had to go in there and fill out was my own experiences and the science behind each. So I realized when it came to the identity chapter, as I was typing it, my identity, my worth was very much attached to my profession, because that's where I got my worth from. And I realized that day, so as of May 31st of 2019, not this year, last year, that's when I actually made the decision, you know what, that's where my worth is coming from. And there's more to me, there's more value than me than having a title of a therapist. So I resigned my title that day, May 31st. I resigned my job and I fully committed to Rewiring Minds. Till then, I wasn't ready. I still had my own beliefs I had to transform. So that particular day, May 31st, I took the leap of faith.
Mm-hmm.
So,
so
yeah.
How long did it take you to actually quit the job? Did you just like have the idea and just quit right away, or was it a build-up time? How long did it take?
It did build up. So September 2018, you know how I had the book come through, I had people asking me, hey, why are you not doing this yourself? I had the dreams, and I was like, no, you know what, I'm not ready, right? So I did keep my job, because resigning my title was the biggest challenging part. Like I said, to me, I was attached to that. And the company I was working for was actually amazing. So it wasn't like, oh, I hate my job, I need to quit.
Mm-hmm.
But it just didn't feel right. Your soul just doesn't feel at peace. That's what I had started to feel. I didn't feel at peace. And one of the things I teach is heart math, which is very science-based, but it's teaching you how to tap into your heart's intelligence, right? So my heart, I just knew this is not where I'm meant to be. And so it took me a while. So I would say September 2018, I made the decision. I did start, I registered this company, became a corporation October of 2019, but I did not commit to it. It was there in the background. I wasn't ready. And May 31st of 2019, so a few months, I suppose, that's when I decided, yeah, this is my higher calling. This is my purpose in this planet. And took the leap of faith then.
Yeah, love it, love it. So what's the vision that you have now for your company?
So the vision that I have now, I've written it in the book too, is influencing and inspiring 200 million people to get into a state of knowing they are enough, they are valuable, and they have a purpose. Because what I'm finding is with a lot of clients and teaching them how to do it, right? That's where I'm coming, my whole concept or the techniques are, because a lot of us are stuck in this limiting belief that we're not enough, and we're not even aware of it. I wasn't aware of it. It wasn't something that I consciously thought, hey, I'm not enough. What I did know I was aware of was that low-grade anxiety that I was feeling when I was in a group setting, where I would feel like, oh, I shouldn't be saying that. Maybe no one will see it as a valuable statement, or I may make a fool out of myself. But deep down it was, I didn't think I had anything valuable to offer into a group setting. So I had all these little things that I saw, but I just assumed that was just me. I was just shy in a group setting. I just defined it as my personality, but it wasn't, right? The more and more I went into my inner growth, I realized it was all stemming from me thinking I had no value to add to the world. So I kind of forgot where we were going with this. Oh yeah, my mission with the company is basically to influence 200 million people. The way I see it is if we all can come to that place that we're all enough, we're all valuable. So no one is more valuable than the other person. So I'm not more valuable than you, neither are you more valuable than me. We're all here with our own strengths. And we're here to gift our strengths to the world, to serve this world from a place of our own strengths, so we can stop comparing ourselves to the other person. Because most of the time, society has this little box that we all try to fit into, right? So we're just comparing ourselves and going, hey, that person's strength is amazing. I want to be that person. But the reality is we all have our own strengths, and we need to build on that and bring that to the table. And so just the world I envision is a world of peace and love, where we are all coming from this place that, hey, I know my worth, I know my value, and I know the value of the other person too. So we're all here in the state of love rather than the state of competition and hate. So that's my mission, the bigger vision for my
Yeah.
company.
Awesome. Awesome. And what did you say the name of your book was again? You Are Enough, you said?
You are enough. Yeah,
Yeah.
you are enough.
Awesome. So,
Yeah.
oh,
So
go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say the subtitle title is A Transformational Journey into Finding Your Inner Happiness and Peace.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Love it. So in essence, what would you say based on your journey right now and based on where you are, what would you say is one of the biggest lessons you've learned, one of the biggest insights you've just gotten as you've been on your journey?
You know, the biggest lesson I learned was, I feel when we are ready, we can accomplish anything in this world. Many a times it's us who limits ourselves. And the moment you realize you are enough, whatever your dream is for your company, you are enough and you can achieve it. And there are very times where, because I come from a healthcare background. I didn't know marketing, I hate numbers, all of those things, right? But I feel like somewhere deep within, I trusted the times where I felt stuck. I looked at what was my higher vision. I looked at, this was my calling. This is my calling, and I trust the universe to provide. So I find every time we kind of, as entrepreneurs, it's very easy for us to feel stuck. It's very easy for us to want to give up and not follow our passion. And every time I wanted to do that, I had to go back into what is my higher purpose, what is my higher calling, and then get into these states, these emotional states of gratitude and love, and then the creativity would just flow, you know? So that's part of the heart intuition and the heart math too, right? It teaches you how to be creative, like how to connect to your heart's wisdom and create, because that's what we are all here as entrepreneurs to do. So for me, that's the biggest lesson I've learned: not to give up on your dream, always connect to that higher purpose. Why are you doing what you're doing? And it'll
Mhm.
get you through.
Yeah,
That's
that's so powerful. Yeah, I love it as far as that big picture vision. I was talking to one of my friends, and one thing he said, and I remember him saying, was that like with successful people, right? It's not that they enjoy everything they do, but most of the biggest part is that they have a vision. They can kind of see, they know what their purpose is, and whatever they have to do, whether it's a skill they have, they don't have, whatever, they will figure out a way to either get that skill, master that skill, figure it out, because they know that it's about getting to that bigger vision, that bigger purpose, right?
right. Exactly. Because it keeps you focused on what it is that you want to achieve. It's very easy to get distracted as entrepreneurs, right? You're trying to juggle so many roles
Yeah,
and do so many things. So yeah.
awesome. So what about books, right? Are there any books you've read that's really had a profound impact on your journey?
Several books. I can't pinpoint one thing, one book or the other, just several books. One of the books that I remember so when I first started this journey, right, I was like, I am so lost. So I had a coach for myself, a business coach, because I was like, I don't know what to do. I just know, like, it was how the universe placed her into my life as well. She was actually one of my clients as a therapist.
Hmm.
And she was the first one who was like, hey, you should do this as your own business, right? So when I left my therapeutic or therapist job, I was like, hey, you know those because she kept sending me these workshops and stuff like that. And as a therapist, I couldn't attend any of those workshops. So once I was done, I was like, hey, do you want to send me all those links? You know, I'm ready to come to those workshops and see what they're all about. So she had recommended this book. Now, you know what? On top of my head, I can't remember it, but Napoleon Hill's. Do you know the name of the book?
Oh, is it
It's
Think and Grow
called
Rich?
Yes, Think and Grow Rich. And I loved reading the faith, the persistence, all those chapters. I was like, wow, right? Well, the Bible is the other book.
Mhm.
And then I love Tony Robbins. All his stuff is my favorite. I love Lisa Nichols. Her stuff is also very influential for me. So there's a bunch of readers. I also loved reading the book Conversations with God because of the universal, like the higher picture, because I do like the spiritual journey. As you know, that's what got me here, right?
Mhm.
So I do like the spiritual books as well as the mindset books, you know. So those would be some of the books that I would recommend. Well,
Mhm.
see, the thing is, I feel like it's always a calling, right? Like some books just call to you, and that's what maybe you're on that journey and you need that information. But I would recommend You Are Enough, the book I wrote.
Awesome. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Just biased, you know, just a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah. And so when would someone know that they would be in need of your services?
So right now, the clients that I see, it all starts with where you're feeling an emotional turmoil. So someone who's struggling with anxiety, someone who's struggling with chronic pain, someone who's struggling with depression, or someone, an entrepreneur, who has reached this point that they know there's a limiting belief that they're struggling with. And they're like, you know what, I feel stuck. I don't know how to create anymore. My performance is getting affected. And those would be the clients that would come to me. And of course, one of my expertise is, so the Miracle program that I was talking about is also a group coaching program. So someone who wants to learn more about mindfulness, go to their core identity, learn how to refocus their emotions. Because our emotions, I do feel this is my, I know a lot of people talk about abundance living. For me, what I try to teach is that abundance of love and happiness. Why are you chasing certain things of life? It's because you want to feel that abundance of happiness, abundance of love in your heart, right? So how do you feel those feelings? And chances are you're always looking at an external environment or an external person or an
Mhm.
external thing to feel those feelings. So that's what heart math techniques are all about, teaching you how to feel that no matter your external. And from that space, so there's a lot of science, and I could go on with the science, so I'm not going to go there right now. But what you're doing is suddenly you're opening up, tapping into your heart's intelligence when you come from this positive emotional state. It's also tapping into your brain, because anytime we experience negative emotion, our brain is not in a creative state. It's in a fight or flight state. So as entrepreneurs, we don't want to be in a fight and flight state. We want to be in this, tapping into this area of our brain called frontal cortex, tapping into that creativity, and frontal cortex does your decision making, your planning. So someone who's getting confused and overwhelmed at everything and they don't know how to make the best decisions, how to plan. And the other person would be someone who is feeling stuck and they know it's a limiting belief that's causing it. Or maybe they don't. They're like, I don't know why I'm stuck here, but I'm stuck here. And I'm experiencing a lot of emotional pain and I just don't know how to get out of this. So those would be the clients who I can help, in a nutshell. But
Awesome. Love it. Love
yeah.
it. Yeah. So
And
simply
those who are interested in biofeedback,
you
forgot
said
to mention
biofeedback.
biofeedback. Yeah, someone who wants to see what's going on in their nervous system. So let's say someone who's struggling with physical ailments, right? Because our nervous system, autonomic nervous system, controls everything, like your hormonal system, your immune system. So someone who wants to improve on the immune system. I also say it's an anti-aging program, because whenever you experience positive emotions, you're releasing an anti-aging hormone. So I also say, hey, someone wants to get into an anti-aging program, they can come and see me too.
Awesome. Love it.
But
Love it. Okay, cool. Awesome. So if someone wanted to reach out, what's the best way for them to connect?
so the best way would be, I do have a website. It's called www.rewiring, so REWIRING, rewiring.com. They can always email me. They can email me at info@rewiringminds.com. So
Mhm.
those would be the two-way. But social media, I love chatting with people. I love connecting. So if someone wants to reach me through social media, I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube. I can give you the links later if you want. But they
Awesome.
can
Awesome.
always find the links on the website too.
Yeah, love it, love it. And guys, all the links that Michelle talked about here today, I'll definitely make sure they're either above or below this video, so you'll be able to click right on there and connect right with her. Well, Michelle, hey, thank you so much for stopping by. I really, really appreciate it. Do you have any final thoughts before we end here?
Um, I feel like I pretty much said everything, you know?
Hmm.
So my final thought would be actually being the heart math practitioner, it's always get into a state of love and peace. It's there. You have the control over your destiny. Don't depend on others to fuel your inner engine, you know? So take charge of your life. It's within you. All that you're seeking is within you.
Awesome.
That
Love it.
would be my final thought.
Love it. Thank you. Well, again, thanks for stopping by and we'll talk here shortly. Okay.
Thank you, Extus. You take
Welcome.
care.